through the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven through the Nazi lines. Viva Victoria!
Number 1. The music itself is fantastic. Compared to other genres, I think we have the most diverse collection, from black metal to folk metal and everything in between. And generally speaking, the fans tend to be diehard, compared to various other forms of music anyway. Number 2, the fans are welcoming, and they don't judge you for characteristics that have no bearing on you as a person. They judge you solely by the content of your character, and I think it's wonderful. Number 3, our dance moves are so much better than any other genre of music. I mean, you've got headbanging, you've got stage diving, you've got mosh pits, you've got circle pits, you've got walls of death, you've got stage diving. Have I said that already? I think I have. Whatever, I'm making this while drunk, so I don't give a fuck. Number 4, our wardrobe tends to be made up of the wonderful array of colours that are black, dark black, light black, grey that's darker than grey, not quite light though, and you've got some shades of grey I guess, but mostly black, which is fantastic. It's dark, you can look all shady and shit. It tends to be quite shiny as well, I think, spiky and all sorts of good fun, you know, bullet belts, very offensive clothing, and it's fantastic. Numero 5. You get away with being a hairy bastard. Now, it's no secret that the metal community itself is full of really hairy people. The only downside is I'm not allowed to have a beard or moustache or even sideburns in the job I work, so I can't get away with it, but for the most part, you can. Number 6. You get to get away with being a drunk bastard all the time, and nobody can criticise you because it's part of the culture. Well, they can criticise you, I guess, but it's more of a minor thing to us. You know, we tend to get our fair share of criticism from the mainstream society anyway, so it's nothing new. God fucking damn it, might be it. Shit. Number 7. He gets down, look down on the modern plebeians, you know, the edgy boys, so to speak, that listen to Black Veil Brides and similar nonsense. You know, the sort of music that's not heavy, and they still call it metal. They say I'm a metal fan, and they're not, because they don't actually like metal. They just like trash. Yeah, you get to look down on those people, and there's nothing quite like feeling superior to your peers. Am I right? Or am I just a dick? I think I'm just a dick, but whatever. Moving on. Number 8. There are no memes like Varg memes, because Varg memes are lit. You get it? Because he set fire to churches.
Please clap.
Number 9. I totally didn't have to look at what number I was on. Metal festivals are clearly superior. They are the master race of festivals, so to speak. For example, the non-judgmental attitude that accompanies every single metal festival I've ever been to is definitely prevalent. In fact, it's probably the most prevalent part of the whole trip, to be honest. For example, there is a tradition every year that when you brush your teeth in the morning, there is a man who dresses up as a toothpaste tube who walks around Midgard, or if you were there in 2016 it was Mudgard. Please clap. No, he walks around brushing his teeth, and you know, he shouts floss or die, and it's pretty funny, but it's non-judgmental, it's accepted, it's just a part of life over there, and you have to take part in it. It's just tradition. Number 10. The music itself helps you get out some really dark and twisted thoughts that you may have, while fapping to dark and twisted thoughts. It's quite clear that metalheads have the best genetic memetics. We're on point number 11, I think, now. Sorry, I should have said that really before I started talking, but it's too late to change it now because I'm a lazy fuck. Anyway, it's clear that metalheads have the best memes, unless you subscribe to one of those Facebook pages that post normie tier shit, but the stuff on the HME Discord's quite funny. If you're not a part of it, join it, it's funny shit. If you don't know who they are, then you're probably not watching my video because I have no subscribers. Yay! Number 12. You've never felt like you've been belonging to a place more than when you discuss really deep stuff with a 6'8" behemoth of a man, who then proceeds to hug you and start sobbing while listening to Agaloch. It was a very touching moment for me, not because I remember much of it, because I was really, really drunk, and I'm sure he was too. We weren't high though. Don't do drugs, kids. And it was a good time. It was a really good time, really emotional as well, as far as from what I remember. But yeah, you can experience the most emotional of times with people who you would never think to show emotion ever, and it is beautiful. That was a completely serious point that was tainted in my fucking terrible explanation, but you get the point. Number 13, we have one of the most diverse genres of music there is. Everything from folk metal to power metal, black metal, death metal, black and death metal, death and black metal, speed metal, and all are equally valid to an extent. I mean, the question at the moment seems to be, is power metal gay? It's a bit like the traps question, but this one is even more dubious because it's literally dudes in loincloths walking around sweating with bulging muscles as they become slowly more erect as they... Sorry. Anyway, next point. Oh shit. It's still recording. That's edited out. Number 14. And to somewhat quote a funny Australian, there will never be any amount of work that I could put in to write any joke that will ever be funnier than a goth on a dodgem. Number 15. Since becoming a metalhead and investing all of the money I've ever earned in albums and t-shirts, I have come to the conclusion that my actions no longer disappoint my parents. Like nothing I could ever do could disappoint them, because their expectations are already so ridiculously low. Number 16. Beer is good. Number 17. My intimidating factors that I wouldn't normally have had I dressed normally because I'm a skinny fuck automatically means that when I help somebody with their daily task, be it helping somebody who looks lost, helping an old lady cross the road, or just smiling at somebody on the street, they feel even better because the people that they think generally are more mean and inappropriate and publicly insane, as a way to put it. I've honestly had religious people look at me and run or walk the other way, cross the road and stuff like that. But when you get to shatter those expectations, not only does it feel good for them, but it really feels good for you as well, because you know that you've shattered somebody's biases, which is always a good thing. And I think that more groups of people should attempt to shatter these biases that are against their own communities. And while ours has plenty, I'd like to take pride in knowing that I'm shattering those boundaries on the daily. Number 18. We have the best drinking music. I mean, anybody heard of Corpaclani? Or Andrew WK? It's just so much better than club music, which is all about like rap and... generally, when you're drinking, a bit of Alestorm, we've just got... Our music is made to get drunk to, for the most part. Minus, DSBM and stuff like that. But for the most part, we've got some pretty good drinking songs. Number 19. Mosh pits are a thing in our genre. Well, I suppose you can have mosh pits in other genres, but they don't work. I mean, last time that I was listening to anything outside of metal, I didn't see anybody throwing fists and shit, which is boring. And finally, number 20. Now I'm going to be a little bit more serious now. Because honestly, there's a stigma attached at the moment, not just within the metal community, but within society as a whole. It seems like you can't turn on the news without hearing something about masculinity being toxic, being a violent and aggressive display which is destructive in nature. But that ignores all of the good things about masculinity. Helping people who fall down, for example. People who are beneath you, raising them up to the point where they can compete with you as equals. The desire to be noble. And just in general, create. Now you could say that these aren't masculine traits. Well, actually, they are. Now, some women exhibit these traits, I'm not saying that they don't. But the overarching idea that masculinity is bad and the root of all evil in the world? No. All you have to do is go to a primarily male-dominated culture, like metal. And honestly, since being a part of the metal community, I have been accepted here every single time. It didn't matter what pretext I was entering the situation, I've been accepted. And it happens with everybody. You will be accepted in this community if you belong here. If you don't, well, maybe we might give you a little bit of a cold shoulder. I wouldn't. I'd be really interested in getting you into it. I'd be showing you music. I'd be getting you into watching, music videos and stuff like that, and generally being a part of the culture. But unfortunately, at the moment, there's a view that the community's bad. Now, if you've ever been in a mosh pit, it looks violent and aggressive and dangerous on the outside. But on the inside, when you're a part of it, if you fall over, people will help you up. If you look like you've been KO'd, somebody will drag you out and make sure you're safe. If you drop something, a lot of the times, people will stop what they're doing and just help you look for the thing that you've lost. It's happened several times to me. Well, not that I've lost something, but that I've stopped and helped somebody find something. And it's one of those things. It's an accepted part of mosh pit etiquette to look after people. And if somebody's being a dick, the entire group think they're a dick, and generally they'll end up getting themselves knocked out. They're throwing fists and shit. Right? The metal community is a great example of masculinity and as a whole. Right? And it's a very cathartic release of energy, being in a mosh pit. And it's a constructive use of energy as well. But anyway, that's just because I've recently been reading articles complaining about how I am as a person, and I really should step outside that, because honestly, I'm sick of feeling guilty about something that I can't change. So I just won't anymore, and I'll just be a part of the subculture that I'm in. Because honestly, since being in that Discord group for HME and other various groups, the festival vibe itself, everything about it, the YouTube community, which is generally quite toxic, but you guys, all of you are wonderful, and you've brought me back from the brink a few times. I don't mean to make this all about me anyway. This is about metal and our love for it, and really as a community we've done a good job, and I'm really, really proud to be a part of such a wonderful community. Anyway, before I get all sappy and sobby and all that shit, I'm gonna fucking go, because I've got shit to do. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to like, you can like, there's a button for that. If you thought the video was shit, you can click dislike. I don't give a shit. If you got any constructive criticisms, leave me a comment. If you disagree with something, if you've got any other ideas, if you think that this video has been too rambly or whatever, just mention it in the comments. Subscribe to me if you like my face, which, yeah, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll catch you later.
A Guter Domarong battle.